Hello everyone, I'm Trace by Ibra, and today I wanna do a weekly recap of this week, the first week in December. So when you look on this chart, this is a daily chart, as you can see here. It's a daily chart. So this was Monday, this was Tuesday, this was Wednesday, we got Thursday and Friday. So coming in the week, we had this fair value gap down here, which was traded into Monday. So if Monday traded like this, our anticipation could be taking out this high, then to this daily fair value gap. As I always look at NAS100 with US 500 here. Now let me toggle this. So you can see that this is US 500, this is US 30. I tend not to watch the US 30 because it is a little bit more. These two are the more, like they are strongly correlated. They are strong because US 30 is also correlated to them, but I like comparing these two. Sometimes I even don't open that and I look onto these two. So with that said, okay, as I always mark previous day high, previous day low, previous day equilibrium. Now that was for Thursday going into Friday, because my focus onto this, I want to look onto Friday because it's when we hit that daily fair value gap. So we could anticipate that this fair value gap could be traded to at least Wednesday. Then Friday could give us a reversal or a continuation. So these two candles not moving, they are not moving. You're going to look onto that in the lower time frames. Now I want us to look onto here US 500. We're having this week, I marked that with the Croydon Fibonacci, and we hit the 0.75 level there on Friday. We also had these relative highs, this marked here, previous month relative highs, previous month high, but also you have relative highs. That's why I wrote it like that there. So what do we see? What do we have on? Let us on US 30 here. This is an order block. Liquidity taken, drops, created fair value gap. So that's good. That's my order block. So I also put a Fibonacci to get the mean threshold of that. Price hit the 0.25 of that there, and again it was previous day high, previous day equilibrium, previous day low. We're also having that daily fair value gap, which we didn't trade to. So okay, from that time frame, I won't stay long. Let us also talk on the 4-hour fair value, on the 4-hour chart, and we see what we had there. I won't stay long on this time frame. So as you can see, this was Sunday, Monday, you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They are really into this fair value gap of the 4-hour there. Price is not moving. We could anticipate to see price at least moving into here back, and at least raise to that level, which we did on Friday. Okay, that is the 4-hour. Nothing much is on the 4-hour. To me, nothing was there, just like that, because I'm not seeing any arrays to me. So if you see something, that is for you. So I dropped lower, coming on the 1-hour. Price is really struggling to move to that level, because if this is Monday, this is Sunday, Monday, this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can see how price is really moving. It's back and forth, reacting on the 4-hour fair value gap that we saw there. So then Friday we hit that level. So let us see on the 30. I'm not showing you other markets because I want us to focus on this one, though we are going to see them later. So as you can see here, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can see how the market is moving. Not rising, we get these impact candles or bold candles at the time that could be 8:30, 9:30, 8:15, 10. You can see 11. Those impact hours. See, at 9:30, 9:30, 10. So I want us to have a look onto Friday's trading. I have done videos onto this, but let us focus on to Friday's trading because it's when we hit that level. Was I given a setup when price wasn't yet here? Because this has been my own liquidity this week, but was I given a setup for price for me to take a trade long to get this target or the encroachment of this daily fair value gap? Was I given a setup? That's what we are going to be seeing. So on the 30 time frame here, what we can see is that we have a low, a high, a lower low, and a higher high. Price came back to that. That's a 30-minute breaker block. Again, it is previously range equilibrium. It is in discount, right? Still, we have a fair value gap there on the 30. So this was really a discount level to see price rally, or where price could trade to, then it rallies. So don't mind about this. Let me remove this. It's a 4-hour week. So okay, let us also look onto ES here. Very fast. We don't have a breaker here on ES. Those relative highs are here. Previous month high. You can see the 75 level on from that week of the daily time frame, right? So for ES here, traded into that 30-minute time frame, also hitting previous range equilibrium there, right? So this is a discount level, which could make price to move higher. Okay, that is for US 500. Let us see for US 30. You can see that this is not that much, looking the same as the other two, right? So for it had that 4-hour fair value gap here. Just retested that. Also have fair value gap, but not that much. Disrespected that, dropping lower. So that's why I like to look onto the other two assets, because they are strongly correlated that more than this asset. Though you can trade that, but these two really can give you something that is really good, and you can trust that. You can see here you need to be more detailed. So if you're not gonna be focusing on that, just close it and focus on these two. You're still gonna find something that's good. So that said, okay, I like to use the 30 with the 3. Let us go quick on to the 15. So the 15 here, you're gonna see how I mark the 8:30, the 9:30, then to the 10. I also like to mark the pre-market opening, the 7 here, though I didn't mark it here. Also the New York Med Open, where price opened, or that day. That day's price opening. So that was the Asia, that was the London. Price dropped at 8:30. We had news at 8:30, if I'm not forgetting. So price came to the 30-minute breaker block, also hitting the previous range equilibrium, which is discount, also this fair value gap here, right? Then price starts to run. We are waiting for the silver blade. 9:30 came, pushes really high, came closed lower, creates that high, opens, again it rallies. We are waiting for the silver blade. I think the silver blade, it is the hour that had news, if I'm not forgetting. Let's check on the 3 right now. So the 3 here, this is gonna be a little bit messy, but let us stick to this. So okay, we are bullish, right? We are bullish. We are waiting for the 10-hour, which is here. This kind of right above here. So this silver bullet there. So okay, that was the 10. We had news on this candle because I was anticipating. I didn't like to take in positions from here because I anticipate that the 10 hour has impact news, red impact news. So I was anticipating to see price dropping. We came back to what? To the equilibrium level here. Let me make this bold. When you look onto that high, from this low to that high, price came back to a discount level into a fair value gap. Maybe you could take a long, but since we're having red impact news, you couldn't want to take a long within that because price can consolidate here or breaks that high, then drops again, maybe to the OT level or to the sweet spot. Maybe you could have used your stop loss here and you could be shaken out. So I waited for the silver bullet here. So silver bullet here came, touched that 3-minute fair value gap here, then it rallies. Okay, now me seeing that the point I was anticipating to see, like it was my point of interest. I couldn't want to see price trade there before giving me a setup. So okay, when price went there without giving me a setup because I couldn't want to take this long. It was early in the time and couldn't want to see that. I waited. Me waiting, price pushed higher. Okay, now when it got to this level, my mind started to change that this market is gonna be bearish because it has really pushed higher into this daily fair value gap. Okay, it may continue higher, but it started to react here. Okay, let us see the 30-minute candle closes. That is gonna be 10:30. Where is 10:30? Let us see that. Where is 10:30? It's gonna be on that candle there. That is the 10:30. This is the 10:30. We are having a swing low, a swing low. Price really dumps that. We're not having any fair value gap there. Now we had an SMT here. We're gonna see that. We don't have any fair value gap in here. So when price go to this level, or when price go to this array or the point of interest I wanted to get to when given a setup, but price went there first. I wasn't given a setup to take long. Now I have to switch side to be bearish or stay on the sidelines. But since it was a Friday, I went on the sidelines. I didn't take in trades because I wanted to trade NAS100. We're going to look on the other assets also and we see what happened at that time. And we see what they traded to also be bearish. Okay, so when to go to that 10:30, since it was a Friday and how the week has been trading, I couldn't want to take any positions. So I stayed on sidelines, I left the chart and I closed. So okay, so today I'm doing a recap and this is what we are seeing. Or this is what I could do if it wasn't Friday and the previous weekdays were good. So with that said, okay, let's see on what happened on the other assets at 10:30. We could say, okay, this price traded like this candle closed really down. Price went down like this. Aggressive, you could take a short and you could use a stop loss at this high. Okay, if this high came, didn't take out that high, and price has dropped, it has broke this swing low or these swings. You could open a trade, but there isn't a fair value gap, and it wasn't really a plus setup, so you could just leave that go. Oh, let it go. Now let us look onto the other assets. This could be an aggressive short, to be honest. That could be a really aggressive short. I like to use order blocks, but not in such. Not in such. Okay. Let us see what happened. I had toggled this. Let me cancel it. Delete. So okay. Here we're having US 500. What happened on US 500? You can see where I got this. Here and here. So this created a higher high This failed to create a higher high. Okay. What had this done? We traded into the other week. We saw on the daily on 0.75 level. Okay. We had also taken out these relative equal highs. This is not a sweep. It is really a run. We hit that 0.75 level. We got an SMT. Price drops. Swing low broken. Okay. On the 30. On 10:30. Candle opening. On a 30-minute time frame. So price created a fair value gap with a volume imbalance. Trades there. Dumps lower. This could also be a low risk short stop loss there, and you could aim for internal range liquidity on that swing low. That could be it for Friday. Okay, let us also how the Dow Jones here done it. It was more clean. Let us see that. Okay, Dow Jones took out previous day high there on that. For it at 10:30, it traded into a fair value gap. For it had already moved lower. You can also see that here. There. So for it is already moving down. Swing low blocking. And when we look onto this, price traded into the increase encroachment, broke it through. We have not yet made it an inversion, but price action into this imbalance, it is really showing to be bearish. Swing low broken, swing low blocking, swing low, back into a fair value gap, dumps it lower, back into this fair value gap, dumps fair value gap, entry, drops to this swing low, back into previous range equilibrium, also back into this daily fair value gap, sorry, this for our fair value gap that we had here. You can see for our fair value gap there. So that was Friday's trading. I wasn't given any setup for me to take a long, because in my videos here I was talking about this daily fair value gap as my point of interest or my bias or my target on any day that I traded. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that was my target. So we got there without me getting any setup for me to trade there. But this could be real aggressive if we had red impact news at 10, because believe me, this market, it could take a blink of an eye to see it down here, then again up. So I had to wait for that. I'm not trusting this because it has really traded into the point I wanted. It has hit it already like this. So seeing this is really shallow, and the swing low here is really huge points, so I couldn't want to take that. You could use this inversion fair value gap not to see price come back to this inversion fair value gap, but no. So for that, I couldn't want to take a long there. I saw it coming back into there, but I wasn't willing to take a long there. So I switched idea and I said this price is gonna move lower. It was Friday, and I went on the sidelines because I didn't want to participate, because it was now late since it was Friday. According to how price has been trading onto the previous days, we could maybe go into consolidation around there. Price, no, I wasn't okay with this week how price was moving, because it was really moving a lot of back and forth price action. I wasn't really good. It wasn't really good. Me seeing this, I just thought the price is gonna come to the previous day low, then we see a run on that, but we stopped in the breaker. Previous day equilibrium, Prince friends came back into there. So I think that's it for today. I'm Trace by Ibra. Let us catch back in the next recap. It will be, maybe it can be a weekly recap, maybe it could be just a day. So I'll be producing more videos show you what I see or show you what I've got into the week or that day. And possibly I'll be making also videos in my local language, because this is a Ugandan channel, or I'm a Ugandan. So I'll see, or I'll find something better which can help, and I'll be producing more videos. Thank you, and let's catch back in the next video.